Helen Keller. Time to warm up. Can you imagine what it would be like to be both deaf and blind? If you close your eyes tight and put your hands over your ears so you cannot hear, you will have an idea what it would be like. Here is an inspiring story of Helen Keller. Time to read. When Helen was very young, not even 2 years old, she became very sick. She was so sick that she almost died, but didn't die. But she lost her hearing and her sight. Yes, she became deaf and blind. But Helen got over being sick and was feeling well again, which took a long time. She found she couldn't do very many things, for she was bumping into things and tripping on things. Her mother and father couldn't tell her where to walk or play because she couldn't hear them, and they couldn't show her because, of course, she couldn't see them. Helen wanted to do things, but it wasn't possible. So she would get very angry and upset and would fight and hit at people. She couldn't talk because she had not learned before. She was sick, so she could not tell her parents what she wanted or what she was thinking. Her parents tried to teach her things, but it was very difficult. But Helen was about 7 years old. Her mom and dad hired a teacher to come and live with them. The teacher had a very difficult job and tried many different ways to get Helen to understand. If you had a friend who could not see or hear, how would you get them to do things and learn about things? You would have to get them to use their hands to see and hear with. That is what Helen's teacher did. She would lead her to something like a tree or a horse, and she would get her to touch it so that she would get an idea of what its shape and size was. Then she would spell the word that represented the object in the palm of Helen's hand. Well, she did this for months and months, and Helen did not seem to understand what was happening. Although she loved going out for walks with her teacher and touching the leaves and flowers and buildings and animals, she was feeling very much contented and happy. Then, one day, Helen's teacher was trying to teach her how to spell water, but she wasn't having much luck with it. So, she took Helen out into the yard where there was a water pump, and she pumped water onto Helen's hand and arms and face and head. And she kept spelling the words W-A-T-E-R in the palm of Helen's hand. All of a sudden, just like a miracle, Helen realized that the letters being made on her hand meant the stuff that was being washed over her arms and face. Then she understood that all the other things her teacher had been spelling on her hand represented the things that the teacher had gotten her to touch. From that time on, Helen learned very fast. She had discovered what words were even though she could not see them or hear them. When Helen got older, she learned to read books that have special letters that are called Braille. These are made up of little bumps that can be felt with the fingers. She later went to college and learned how to write. She wrote many books and she traveled all over the world teaching and helping other people who are blind and who are deaf. One of Helen's favorite books was the Bible, and by reading with fingers, she came to know all about Jesus, and she learned to love the Lord and to live by His word. She was given several books that were written by Emanuel Swedenborg that a friend had transcribed into Braille. She read these books with great interest and became a firm believer in teaching of the new church. She said that these teachings helped her a great deal in understanding the Bible and also about the nature of her spirit. Helen's life was not wasted because she could not see and hear. Her life was very rich and very happy and productive. Her life is an inspiration to all of us to do the best we can with the blessings that God has given to us. Comprehension. Time to answer. Answer the following questions. How was Helen Keller when she was young? Could Helen Keller do many things like the other normal children? What did the mom and dad of Helen Keller do when she was about 7 years old? How did the teacher of Helen teach her? How did Helen understand the meaning of water? What is Braille? What books did she read? When Helen was sick, she was years old. Helen became, and mom and dad hired for Helen. Helen learned to read books with the help of Helen's favorite book was the Clue Kit, Bible, Braille, Teacher, Deaf and Blind, 2. Arrange the sentences in their right order. Her life is an inspiration to all of us. She read these books with great interest and became a firm believer in the teachings of the new church. When Helen got older, she learned to read books that have special letters that are called Braille. When Helen was about 7 years old, her mom and dad hired a teacher to come and live with them. When Helen was very young, not even 2 years old, she became very, very sick. Vocabulary. Time to know new words. Bumping. To knock to a new position. Shift. Tripping. Light and quick as a step or pace. Hire. To engage the services of a person for a fee. Braille. A system of writing and printing for blind. Transcribe. To write down. Time to spell well. Complete the following words. Time to listen. Your teacher will read out the words from the lesson. Listen to them carefully. Color the bricks with the same color. Book, look, find, blind, nature, future, deaf, chef, old, cold. Grammar. Time to learn. The conjunctions. Conjunctions are joining words. Look at the following sentences. He is poor, but he is honest. Take it or leave it. In the first sentence, the two sentences, he is poor and he is honest, are joined with but. In the second sentence, the two sentences, take it and leave it, are joined with or. Hence, but and or are conjunctions. Here are some other examples of conjunctions. Rama and Gopal are friends. Rama, Gopal and Govind are friends. Rama is a boy, but Sita is a girl. Is Rama reading or playing? Rama works hard, so he gets first class. Gopal does not work hard, yet he is clever. Rama can catch the train if he runs to the station. Rama helps everyone because he is good and kind boy. Identify conjunctions in the following sentences and write them in the spaces given. 3 and 3 make 6. The man is poor but honest. Take it or leave it. He does not complain, though he is suffering very much. He is neither a doctor nor a lawyer. He visited not only Agra but Delhi also. I waited for my friend until he returned. If you work hard, you will pass. Do not go before I come. Look before you leap. Time to speak. What are the sense organs? Divide the class into pairs and encourage them to talk about eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Use the following words in your own sentences: higher, sick, blind and deaf, nature, bumping. Project work. Time to do. Activity time. Collect information about Braille keyboard and write in your notebook.